Hey everyone, it's Jen with 2 N's and I use she, her pronouns. And this isn't a book review video, this is more of like a January TBR, to be read, and I'm excited about the books that I picked, so I want to share them. So here we go. Here's my stack. This is, God, I can't. Okay, anyways, this is my stack of books that I hope to get through at least for the month of January this year. Yep, that's all them. And so there's two categories. The first one are books that I've borrowed or somebody has given me and they want to know what I think about it. And all of these books I've had for a super long time, except for this tiny little one that I'll talk about, but most of these I've had for a really, really long time, and it's time for me to read them and give them back, or read them and tell the person my thoughts on them. And then the other half are my book picks, my book of the month picks. So the first one that I have borrowed that I need to read so I can give back to the human are actually multiple books in one. So this is the Crystal variation, and it's from, there's 3 books in here. I've already read one of them, so I only have to read 2. Well, I read one like a long time ago, so I just need to read the other 2 that are in here. And this is part of the Liaden universe series, if I am pronouncing that Liaden correctly. It's a sci-fi, I think that they're called like space dramas, something. But it's a sci-fi book, takes place in the future in outer space, and there's 2 books in here that I have to read, Crystal Soldier and Crystal Dragon, and they look at the history. So like, I think the 2 characters that I'm following right now are like the founders of the world that I've already read about, and I read one of them. Yay, so I've already read one of my books. So I just have to read one more in here, and then this one is good to go back to the human that lent it to me. So that's super exciting. Already one down. And then the other one is also in the Liaden universe, so the same person lent both of these books to me, but this one is a book of short stories, I believe. Yeah, a book of short stories, and it's a Liaden universe constellation. And this is volume 2, so I've already read volume 1, so now it's just to read these. And the person who lent them to me is having me read them in publication order, so not necessarily in time order, which is why I've already read, I think, 7 books in this series. And I'm just now reading about the founders of the world that they're on. So yeah, they're having me read it in publication order. And so I accidentally read, I think I've already read one of these ones in the short stories. Anyways, I read it a little bit out of order from what they wanted me to read it, and now I'm trying to fix it. But, oh, there's a bookmark. I use bookmarks, and then I put them in books when I finish them, and then I lose them. Or I don't lose them, they're in books, I just don't know where they are. Anyways, so those are those ones of the Liaden universe that somebody lent to me. Those ones. And then there is this one that a friend lent to me, The Old Man and the Sea by Ernest Hemingway. So this is a classic. It's a thin classic. And my friend that lent it to me got it when traveling was a thing pre-COVID. And it's owned by Judy Bloom. And she said that it was also not far from the Hemingway house in Florida. So this is when they went to go visit Florida. So I'm excited to read this one, read this book. That'll be fun, especially cool. Like her story of where she bought it is also just really exciting. Ooh, and there's a cool bookmark, Books and Books at the Studios of Key West. So you can see even the bookstore where she purchased it from. Haven't been there, haven't gone that far into Florida, haven't been to Florida, but when traveling is a thing, I will eventually make it to Florida, and maybe I can also visit that same bookstore. Okay, the last book is one that was given to me, and the person who gave it to me wants to know my thoughts on it, and they gave it to me a while ago and I just haven't read it. And I figured now it's time. So I've started it, I'm a few pages in, but because they want to know my thoughts on it, I'm like doing the whole, what is it called, annotating. So I'm doing all the highlighting and the little note taking and the fun little tabby things. So that's this one, and this one is called Live Not by Lies. So those are the ones that I've borrowed or somebody gave to me and wants to know my thoughts. So my other 3 that I'm hoping to get through this month are these ones. These aren't borrowed, these are new books. New books. The reason I'm excited to read this one, The Removed by Brandon Hobson, is because it talks about having like a really supernatural feel to it, and then it blends different Cherokee folklore and with spiritual and real life things, and just this blend of hodgepodge of all this different stuff and how it impacts one family and the family tragedies that they go through. So that's why I'm really excited to read this one. I haven't heard too much about it just because it is a newer book, but the description really, really got me excited. So that's this guy. I'm looking forward to that one. Another one that I have this month that I'm hoping to read is Betty, and this one's by Tiffany McDaniel. And I got this book because I've seen it everywhere, all over the whole Bookstagram universe, and I was starting to feel really left out from not reading it. So it's one of those FOMO things. I understand it's an issue, but it also really goes, the reason I picked it, the reason I got it this month is because I feel like it has it kind of has a similar theme. Well, the reason I picked up Betty this month is because both Betty and The Removed talk about Cherokee families. So I know they're two very different, well, I'm assuming they're 2 very different stories. I haven't read either of them yet, but they're 2 different books, but they both talk about a different Cherokee family in each one. And when I get new books, sometimes I like to have them be a little bit similar. So that way, like when I'm reading my books, it's kind of like I'm just floating around in the same little universe, you know what I mean? So, and in addition to it being, from hearing that it's a phenomenal book, it also talks about apparently like different social issues, and there's just a lot of drama, I guess, in this book. So yes, very excited. Drama, social issues, indigenous populations, and I've heard great things. The last book that I'm hoping to get through this month is called The Most Dangerous Place on Earth by Lindsay Lee Johnson. Why do I always have a hard time making it face straight onto the camera? Lindsay Lee Johnson. And I'm super excited to read this one because it's about the most dangerous place on earth, which Lindsay says is the American high school. And whoever says that high school is the best time of your life, I have words to share with those people because I think that that's a really ignorant and rude thing to say to somebody, because high school sucks. Oh, and it may not suck for everyone, but to have that be like the best part of your life, the climax, anyways, I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I haven't heard anything about this book, so I've heard and seen amazing things about Betty. The Removed is a new book. I haven't seen anything really about that. But this one's been out for a couple of years, and I just haven't seen too much about it, so I'm not sure if it's going to be good or not. It does seem like it's going to be a pretty quick read. It's pretty short, especially when you compare it to Betty. That one is a beast. Looks like a beast of a book. But yeah, this one I think will be, depending on like if I like it or not, I feel like this will be a pretty quick read, so I'm excited to see what this one is like. And also too, the yellow matches the yellow on my sweater. You'd think I did it on purpose. I didn't, but you may think I did. You don't know. So yeah, those are all the books that I'm looking forward to reading this month. Those are my, like I said, my TBRs for the month. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6. So a total of 8, and I've already read 1, and it's currently, as I'm talking, January 11th. So there's 20 more days to read 7 books. I should probably start reading the ones that are in this stack because I've already finished a different book off my unread shelf, which You can't see it because I'm sitting right in front of it. I read another book off my unread shelf over the weekend. That wasn't a part of this stack. That's why I like making TBRs is a little bit rough for me, because I tend to just, like an emotional reader. I read whatever sounds good to me in the moment. But then that's why sometimes I don't read what's on my shelf and I buy new books and then read those. Not that buying new books is bad. It's not a bad thing to do that. So yes, 7 books left off of my TBR, and then we'll see how it goes at the end of the month. I'll do a check-in and then show you what I was able to read and then talk more about February goals. But yeah, that's that. So yeah, that's that for my January TBR. Here they all are again. And 1 down, 7 to go. Do you think I can do it? Let me know in the comments. And if you have any thoughts, have you read any of these books? What are your thoughts on them? Yeah, leave it in the comments and let me know. And if you like to look at pictures of books, you can go to my Instagram if you would like. It's the same name as the YouTube, as the BookTube channel-y thingy that you're on right now, read.with.2njen. And that's where I am. So yeah, that's that. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.